Shalom and welcome to 2 Minutes of Torah. This year is entitled Yevamot Daf Yomi Midoraiat. The Gemara talks about a very difficult situation. A woman's husband is away and she is told by two aidim, by one aid, that he's dead, and she marries. And then unfortunately for her, it turns out that there was a mistake in the aidus, unintentional, intentional, whatever it may be, and the husband is actually alive. So now she's already married to another person and she has a baby from the other person. What's the status? She's still an Ashes Ish to the original husband. There was no death, there was no divorce. It's a very, very harsh case where there's a whole bunch of halachas that apply to her. Some Midoraita and some Midrabanan. Midoraita, she goes ahead and has a child from the second person. She thinks he's the husband, but he's not, because she's still married to the first husband. The child is tragically a Mamzair. The fact is, she has a status of an Ashes Ish, even though she thought she wasn't an Ashes Ish, and she halachically now has produced a Mamzair. Not intentionally, but that's reality. And there's a whole series of Midrabanan penalties that she has as well. Aruch Hashulchan tries to make some sense of some of these halachot. Of course, even if we don't fully understand it, halach is halach, and that's the reality. But in addition, the Aruch Hashulchan tries to give a little clarity of what's going on. And he writes at the end of in Even Haezer, Siman Yud Zayin, he writes the following. Says, Klal Gadol Yesh. It's a very important klal he writes in Reish Nun Hey. It's a massive siman, over 250 sifim in the Aruch Hashulchan. It's a very big klal that when it comes to permitting an aguna to remarry, kol makom sheina inyan pashut, if it's something that's not so clear, leheter kokach v'tzarach shelat chacham, and you need to talk to a chacham, to a posek, Filo hayote gadol b'Torah, to a major Talmid Chacham, a gadol, lo yate batzmad sheyaskimu odimo shnei gadol Yisrael. Then he should not paskin on his own. He should make sure to talk to other gadolim as well. V'kach nagu kol gadolei olam ve'olam, and that's what all the gadolei olam have done forever. K'moshem v'ro b'kol ha'tshuvot, as it's been written in all the Shivot and all the poskim. You want to make sure that you have a serious Talmidei Chacham and poskim that are permitting a woman to remarry when we're not 100% sure. We don't have the body in front of us, and we're basing ourselves on testimony. So on the one hand, in Daf Peches, we learned that, there's a lot of leniencies for an aguna to marry. On the other hand, it has to be done in a proper halachic way. If there's any shilas, you need not just one posek, but you need several, 3 gedolim. And then he goes on and he says that if a woman's husband goes away, he says in such a case, it's true, technically she's allowed to marry. It's true, but she really has to look and see and make sure, is everything fine here? Is it squeaky clean? Is it possible that something funny is going on? And the Aruch Hashulchan said that in order to go ahead and motivate her to check out the facts and get clarity, the Rabbi set up some serious consequences if she marries and her husband is really still alive. So in sum, we have a bit of a harsh case here where a woman thinks she's no longer married, and she marries another person, and it turns out that it's an objective reality. This is an Ashes Ish who's marrying. An Ashes Ish who marries, there is a Mamzair. And she has to try her best with the guidance of the Gedolim that such a situation doesn't exist, doesn't happen. And the rabbis also added on some stringencies as well in order to motivate her to really make sure that everything is fine and she doesn't jump into a marriage based on any kind of shaky premises. Shalom.